Xbox on.
Game on, baby! Wow!
Don't make a girl a promise you can't keep.
Let's do this.
Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of Xbox One Party Chat. This is the official podcast for the Xbox One subreddit, and we are extremely excited to be bringing it to you guys today. We've got Major Nelson lined up later in the podcast, an awesome interview with him. I am one of your hosts, Uncle Jessy. Along with me is Ross, as well as, and one of our lovely moderators, Delicious Cheese, AKA...
So lovely.
What's going on, gents? How are you guys doing?
Oh, not
Fantastic.
too bad yourself.
Nah, not bad, not bad. So, just to give you guys a little bit of a rundown of what this show is all about. This is just like you would have with any of your buddies over on Xbox One while playing games and just chatting about all of the hot topics that are available over in the Xbox One community. So we're going to be taking a look at those, commenting on some of those, as well as trying to bring you guys some amazing interviews with folks from inside the industry. So we're extremely excited to kick this off again today with Major Nelson. All right, so just a little bit about each of us here before we get started. I'm Uncle Jessy. You might know me from the weekly video series last week on Xbox One. I'm a big Xbox One gamer. I'm also a dad and a big fan of the show and getting this out to you guys today. Ross, what about you?
So I am Ross from Glasgow, Scotland, as you can probably tell by my accent. Who doesn't love a Scotsman?
That is right.
I'm also a dad and a huge Xbox fan, as well as a fan of the subreddit.
How about our fellow mod that's with us today? Where are you located, my friend?
I am from Helsinki, Finland, and I am a huge fan of the subreddit as well because, you know, it's my baby. And I'm just here to make sure that you guys behave yourselves and also to hopefully have some fun. I am a huge Xbox fan as well, obviously, and I am not a dad, but I have no idea where to go with that.
No, but it sounds like you're here to keep us on track, as well as to also help bring us some of these amazing interviews that we've got scheduled in the upcoming week. So we're excited to be working with you guys over on the Xbox One subreddit with this particular podcast.
We had a gigantic round of rock, paper, scissors over in the mod team to see who got to be on the first episode, and triumphant, here I am. So, yeah. Looking
Awesome.
forward to it.
No,
I'm interested at this. So was this like a Skype rock, paper, scissors?
No. We use Slack chat, so it's all in text. You sort of like got to count. There's a lot of good faith involved, but you sort of got to like count down. 3, 2, 1, and then you let them have it.
We're
There's better
excited.
things to do on a Saturday night, to be honest with you, than Slack, rock, paper, scissors.
You don't mod Reddit though, so you probably know what it's like to have a social life.
So the subreddit is your social life. That's what you're saying.
In essence, yes, except I get to control what people say. I mean, I get to foster intelligent and lovable community members and discussions.
That is exactly right. You helped us line up Major Nelson for the first show. I can't tell you guys enough, but I'm super excited about this, and to be honest, a little nervous. It's exciting. It's the exciting nervous, not the scared nervous, but the exciting nervousness. So, Rhys, we noticed there's some great things going on over the subreddit right now. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, Quantum Break just launched, if you hadn't noticed, and we had a pretty cool theme going up on the sub there for a while, and we just switched it for our Dark Souls 3 theme. But we have a couple of contests to do with Quantum Break. We had one where we gave away a copy of the game, and we encouraged people to make the face, which is the famous face of Sam Lake from Max Payne. That was hilarious. We have a contest that's currently ongoing, and you can win a whole bunch of awesome Quantum Break swag. We've got a Steelbook tin, we've got a Lunar White controller, because why not? a digital code for Quantum Break and Alan Wake, and the best thing in the whole thing is a signed game sleeve by Sean Ashmore, who is Iceman and also the main character in Quantum Break. Jack Joyce, I think his name is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Done.
The contest itself was inspired by a minor spoilers, an Easter egg in Quantum Break. Stop listening if you're afraid of spoilers. There is a script hidden in the game as an Easter egg, and it is so bad, so bad that it goes all the way around and becomes good again. And inspired by that, we decided that to win this contest, you had to write a Quantum Break fanfic in script form, starring at least Sean Ashmore. And we are also going to get the winner acted dramatically live on the podcast in the next episode. I hope you boys are looking forward to that.
Woo! I cannot wait. I think we're all going to be fighting over who gets to play Littlefinger. A very
Can I just say that
semi-popular.
you've got time to write in a Scottish character if you really want to and help me out.
Actually,
if you want some bonus points.
yeah, if you prefer the American to do the Scottish character, let me know, and I can brush up.
Okay, I'm intrigued now. You're gonna have to show us your Scottish accent.
I'll have to watch.
I'm ready.
I'll have to watch Braveheart a few times before I go.
But
Oh.
Braveheart
I'll brush
has-
up on my Mel Gibson. Oh wait, that's not Scottish, is it? Or no, is
No,
it?
it's
Mel
fake.
Gibson's not Scottish.
No, I
He
know
was
he's
playing a
not.
Scotsman.
I know he's not.
There's some amazing entries in the contest. We've been reading through some of the ones already, and there's an amazing cast of characters to choose from. We've got everybody from Cyborg T-Rex to Composite Hitler. One of them is a plot to make sure that National Treasure never actually happened, and it stars Sean Bean and a whole bunch of other crazy characters. They're amazing, really. We're having a lot of fun reading through these. You guys are making some amazing stories.
Well, we look forward to acting it out. That's for sure. So why don't we just jump right into some topics over on the subreddit? What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
The download.
Yeah, this week on the subreddit, we had user Muscled RMH talking about Gears of War 4 having split screen in every single mode. Now, I've read through the article, I've read through the comments. Guys, are you excited to have some split screen in Gears like you always have?
Without split screen, it wouldn't be Gears, in my opinion. I have played through every single Gears of War game in split screen, and it would just be wrong. When it happened to Halo 5, I cried alone in the corner for weeks.
Weeks on end. On
Yeah.
end. Yeah.
So is Couch Co-op still alive? Is it needed with this online world that we live in? You know,
Well, I mean, I personally think I'm a bit of an old man, I guess you could say, because for me, split gaming is all about local multiplayer. I own a Wii U, don't tell anyone, and it's absolutely amazing for local multiplayer. And I buy basically every game on the Xbox One that is split screen. In fact, just last Saturday, I had a bunch of people over at my house, and we played through a whole bunch of games in Rare Replay. We played like RC Pro-Am and Battletoads Arcade, and then we played Minecraft for like 4 hours. The split screen has a place. I think, I don't know if it should be in every single game, but I don't think devs should completely discount it either.
Jesse, do you use split screen for a lot of games still? Or?
I do. You know what's funny is that I don't use it very often. I am in the camp that really doesn't use it. The only time I ever use split screen is when we have people over, or we go over to someone else's house and there's a party going on, and we're playing games. I definitely still think it has a place. I mean, I've got 2 kids. That aren't of gaming age yet, but when they're older, I know that's what they're going to want to do. When I was growing up, that's what my brother and I did, was played a lot of split screen games. That is a lot of what determined what game we were going to buy, is if we could both play it. at the same
man.
time.
Without split screen, I think the formative years of my life would have been absolutely horrible. In fact, when I was when I was younger, when I was 19, I lived in a share house with about 7 dudes, and we had a copy of Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and absolutely everything in the house was decided by Street Fighter. Who's taking out the garbage? Street Fighter. Who's making dinner? Street Fighter. It sucks. What if you're bad at Street Fighter? Get good. It's like the perfect democracy. Street Fighter.
That's right.
See, I jumped for joy when I read this news. Now, the listeners won't be aware, but I know you are. I am a massive Gears head, and so is my wife.
That's awesome.
So the fact that my wife and I can sit there, play Gears, and local split screen has got me so excited. And my cat, Carmine.
And your cat.
Your cat, Carmine.
He's still alive. He's okay.
He is still okay, yep. So
That's
is
a
Clayton.
dangerous name for a beloved household pet. I'm sorry, that is dangerous.
What, how many cats have been named Carmine?
No, this is the first. This is the first, to be honest with you. But I like yourself, Rhys. When Halo came out, and I've been used to playing through the campaign with my wife, we were really, really disappointed that we never had that opportunity. And I'm just glad that they have. They've probably listened to that outcry that came when it happened, and I hope a lot of developers listen and see what is happening here, so that we know that games are going to continue getting couch co-op, because for me, it's a necessity. Absolutely.
And I mean, I think that one of the biggest issues is graphical fidelity. Right. And it's like, but the thing is, I'm pretty sure that most of us, I know I am, most people would be more than willing to sacrifice graphical fidelity for split screen. No one expects 1080p 60 FPS in 4-player split screen. That's insanity. Like, there's some sort of voodoo that Nintendo used to get Mario Kart 8 running in split screen and 60 FPS. I don't know how many goats were sacrificed to make that happen, but most games, like most people, I think, would be more than happy to take a slight graphical hit to be able to enjoy playing games with people sitting next to you.
And I think they'd even mentioned that in this article, that one of the reasons why it wasn't included in Halo was the technical constraints. And for Gears, they mentioned that if you're playing it alone in online multiplayer, it's going to be 60 frames per second. But if you're doing split screen, it'll drop to 30 frames. I don't really see that as any sort of negative. I don't think you're going to really be able to perceive that when you're playing in split screen with a friend sitting next to you. It just seems like something so basic and that everyone was used to for Halo should have made its way in there. And I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll see a patch for it. Would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be nice. Yeah. Did you guys ever play GoldenEye in 4-player split screen when you were a kid?
Yes.
That ran at like 12 FPS. The performance was awful, but you didn't care.
Did not care whatsoever. That was a huge time suck for me through, I think, freshman year of college, maybe? Mm-hmm. Or, excuse me, university for any of our European counterparts.
We outnumber you, Clay.
That's right. And by the way, this is, if you didn't already know, this is really a global, not only a global podcast, but it really is, the Xbox One subreddit is a global community. So it's sort of why, when setting up this podcast, we wanted to not just have it be an American podcast. It needed to have that global feel, and having folks on like Ross and Rhys here, it really helps, I think, bring everyone together and give a global perspective on things.
Although it makes recording an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. What time is it now?
Yeah. It's the beauty of Skype, though, is that it allows us to do this, thankfully.
Now, other articles this week. So, Jessy, do you want to say with your featured pick of the week?
Yeah, you know what? It wasn't necessarily one of the top posts from the week, but user Mercenary Inc. posted a sort of a discussion thread about upcoming betas that are going to be available over the next month or so. And I was a bit shocked at just how many open betas there was going to be. He had listed out Battleborn starting on April 13th, Halo 5, Warzone Firefight on the 14th, Doom on the 15th, Gears of War 4. I believe yeah, exactly. It starts on the 25th, and I believe if you purchase the Ultimate Edition, you'll be able to access that early on the 18th, as well as there's an Overwatch open beta starting on May 3rd. I mean, it's just crazy to me how many betas are dropping around the same time. I have a hard enough time as it is playing the games that I've purchased, and I'm going to want to jump into basically all of these open betas. So, I mean, is there anyone that you guys are excited about? Is there any one in particular that you guys are excited about?
I'm pretty sure, to just call it a hint, but I think Ross might be slightly interested in the Gears beta. But
yeah, so obviously my pick is Doom.
Yes.
But yeah, no, like the Gears beta, I cannot wait for that. Although I'm not the best at online Gears multiplayer, I still will give an absolute crack and as much time as I can that week. Forgot to tell you guys, I know we've just started, but I need a week's holiday already when that happens.
That's right.
And I am super excited for Battleborn because I'm a bit of a... In fact, my girlfriend and I both are huge Gearbox fans. I think the game that I have sunk the most hours into collectively was between... I'm having a brain fart here. I can't even remember the name of the game. Thank you. My girlfriend just corrected me. was between... The game that I've sucked the most amount of hours into last gen, I think, have been Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2 in split screen with my girlfriend, and Gearbox humor just gets me. It's dark and it's sarcastic and it's a little bit immature, but it knows it is. And I don't know, I just love it. And so I'm super excited for Battleborn. But what about you, Clay?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really torn between Doom and Gears 4. I'm a big fan of Gears 4 as well. Maybe not as big of a fan as Ross is. I'm also pretty horrible at multiplayer. I like to think I'm really good, but no, I'm absolutely horrible.
So you're not in my team then?
No.
Did you?
As long as I can be Coltrane, I'll be happy.
Woo! Did you play the Doom? Baby. Did you play the Doom Alpha?
Unfortunately, I didn't. I did receive an invite to it, and I just didn't get around to giving it a playthrough. It looked amazing, though. It absolutely looks amazing.
Yeah, if I had played the game, I would not be able to tell you because I would have agreed to an NDA. But I mean, if I had to guess, I would think it looks pretty good.
From the E3 video that they showed last year, it looked very, very impressive.
It does. Are you guys aware of the very cheeky situation involving the Overwatch beta?
No.
You are not?
It releases on the same day?
Yes, it releases on the same day as Battleborn.
Oh.
Comes out full release.
Yes, Blizzard being very cheeky, dropping their open beta on the same day as the full release of Battleborn. And these two games are sort of going like head to head at the moment because they look quite similar. They don't play the same. Overwatch is apparently much more like a spiritual successor to Team Fortress 2. Mm-hmm. And Battleborn, it's a bit like Gigantic.
Oh, yes. Well, that's interesting. I mean, it seems like a very strategic decision that they're making there. They definitely have the same, in my opinion, the same look and feel. I've definitely even gotten confused between the trailers of looking at them of what game am I looking at here. So, but apparently, like you said, they play completely different. But it's
you're looking at the emergence of a new genre. They're calling it hero shooter.
Hero shooter.
Do you remember when Warcraft 3 came out? It basically invented a whole new kind of RTS, which was like the hero-focused RTS. Before Warcraft 3, it was all about managing large groups of units. And then when Halo 3, did I call it Halo 3? Before Warcraft 3 came out, it was all about managing large groups of units. But then when Warcraft 3 hit the scene, it shrunk the battlefield of the RTS and had you introduced the concept of hero characters that had a few abilities each. And these two games are sort of condensing the first-person shooter and the MOBA genre that was spawned off of Warcraft 3 and sort of fusing them into something new and interesting.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of excitement around those once they both drop, I'm sure.
Now, I just want to ask your guys' opinions on betas anyway. Like, for me, this generation, Destiny really kicked all this off with a huge open beta weekend. Or it was closed and it became open. And since then, every single developer seems to be bringing a beta for any type of online game. What are your thoughts about that? Is that something that you look forward to trying to give you that taste of the game that makes you want to buy it? You know, do you feel as if you're helping out the developer? What is your opinion on the beta situation?
Well, I think the problem with this, what's happening in the current generation is that the word beta has sort of been applied to the word demo. And when a beta is actually a beta, you get a lot of complaints on the subreddit and all over the internet about the game being broken and not worth buying, and they don't like it, forgetting the fact that a beta is supposed to be a sort of a work in progress. And I think a lot of developers at the moment are sort of I don't want to say exploiting the word beta, but like they're getting around having to provide a demo by calling it a beta. Does that make sense?
It's a time limited one though. Like for me, a demo is something like the first level of a game. Unravel done that pretty well in EA Access. They literally gave you the first level of the game. But for me, a beta is, as you said, something to test the servers, test that the game's working, do balancing, something like that.
Yeah.
I know Halo's done it in the past, but has there ever been more betas than what they are now?
No.
I wouldn't consider them as being a demo.
Yeah, there's definitely, it feels like there's a lot more of them now than we've previously seen. Maybe it's just the fact that it's easier to access now, or it's easier for developers to grant access to them. But I can think of one example that I thought worked extremely well, and that was for Ubisoft's Rainbow Six Siege, where I took part in the alpha all the way through the beta. I feel like I was involved with that in multiple stages. And every time I played it, they had reviewed community feedback and applied tweaks to the game. And the game that was released wasn't vastly different than what they had originally released, but they had made a ton of improvements based on gamers' critiques of what was working, what wasn't working, what they felt like was being overpowered or what was cheating. To me, I thought that was a great example of a beta and why it worked well. However, there is definitely the case with some games where people are, like Rhys was saying, really do consider it now a beta, or not a beta, a demo of the game, and is going to influence their final purchase.
And I mean, for example, what you said is a really good example of how a beta should work. But to go back to the topic starter, Destiny, right. The beta of Destiny was identical to the first third almost of the launch product. Very, very little changed. But I think, well, I mean, that's just the difference between a good beta and a not so good beta. But I think that the main reason that we have so many betas now is because of the online age. Almost every game has some sort of online component, and it needs to work flawlessly at launch. So I mean, the only way that you can get enough data is to test the servers that you've got, basically. And it's so much easier than it was before just to say, go to the website, here is a code, play our game, tell us what you think. And, I mean, there's, like, free analytics for you.
That's right.
Yeah. You said Rainbow Six done it right for me. In Destiny, I was sucked in. I bought the game day one because of the fun I had playing the beta. And yeah, it worked on me, to be honest with you. It was a great marketing tool. But for me, beta should not be a marketing tool.
It can work in reverse too. I know so many people who canceled their pre-order of Evolve after playing the beta. I mean, I know they made a good purchase decision for them, but that wasn't a good thing for the developers of Evolve, because they lost a lot of sales.
That's very true.
Yeah. Very true. But it's got its, I think it's got its pluses and its minuses, but it's whatever, especially if it's going to be an online game, the best thing that you can hope this will do is avoid what Battlefield issues happened with that game when it first launched 3 years ago.
Oh wow.
It was an absolute nightmare.
I think that is the worst. That's got to be the worst launch of an online game, I think, almost ever.
Right.
Like, DICE did an amazing job of repairing the game. They spent a solid year fixing it.
By the way, if you are not playing Battlefield, or if you have not played Battlefield, go get yourself EA Access so you can play Titanfall and a whole bunch of other games, and get your copy of Battlefield. It's amazing. It is a top-notch shooter.
Absolutely.
I've sunk so many hours into that game. It's a little crazy. I'm excited for what they'll hopefully be announcing come E3 this year.
But we want to know the listeners' feedback, the community's feedback on this as well. Are there too many betas? What are your thoughts and opinions? Make sure you put them in the comments below where this posting is on Reddit, and we want to know exactly what you think about it.
Unless you say stuff I don't agree with.
And now, as promised, our interview with Xbox own Major Nelson.
All right, so hi everyone. We are excited to have our first interview with Xbox owns Major Nelson. Major, say hi to everybody.
Hey everybody, it's great to be here. I'm so thrilled. I am your very first interview. When you told me you guys were doing a show, I said absolutely. Of course I'll come on the show, and I'm thrilled to kick off the show.
We are super happy to have you here.
Indeed. And I will warn you guys right now, I am literally at a rest stop on the side of the road while traveling doing this interview. So my audio might be a little shoddy for this first one.
Dedication.
Yeah, but I got to tell you this, considering technology and all that's going on, it sounds pretty darn good.
I think so too.
Not bad. Thank you, Skype.
Well, I'm going to jump in with the first question, and it's totally Reddit related. Major, your Reddit account is over 6 years old. That is ancient in internet terms. What was it that made you sign up? Do you remember what it was that first pulled you to Reddit?
You know, I actually don't. It's like most people that I'm sure that are Redditors or that have been on the internet for a long time, like most of us, is like when a new service comes online, you run over there and grab your username because you don't want anybody else to get it, right?
Yeah, they just opened up that the new Nintendo service, and everybody was trying to get their name.
Yeah, it's funny because I got in on that, speaking of that, in Nintendo, and the problem is Major Nelson doesn't fit. They've got a character limitation, so I think I had to abbreviate it to MJR Nelson or something. It was really bad. But to get back to your question, I don't remember exactly what brought me over there. I'm sure it was a cat video, but I really don't remember.
So Major, we're just now getting started with our podcast, and you've been at the podcast game for years now, and are up
a decade.
to number 500 and something. I think was the last I heard. Any tips or advice for us guys just starting out here?
Yeah, I mean, you guys are, first of all, it sounds like you know what you need to do, and the podcast field is very mature right now. And the fact that, when I started doing a podcast, it was like, do I record directly into the computer? There weren't a lot of solid state digital recorders available, so if the computer, there was a problem, you lost your stuff. But the fact that you're sitting on the side of the road and participating via Skype in a conversation, and Rhys is on the other side of the planet and I'm here. So to me, it's amazing right now. But my tip for you guys would just be have fun. You got a bunch of really great guys, hopefully some girls in the future. together to talk about gaming. And it sounds like you guys know what you want to do, and you're certainly going to have a great community over at Reddit. So I'm really excited to see what you guys are going to bring.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you see the Quantum Break theme? What did you think?
It's funny. That's the one thing I'm glad you guys asked, because I don't know who does the theming over on the Xbox One subreddit, but I think they do a fantastic job. I know it's probably a group effort.
It's me. And also, and also Mikey J. Raymond, and also Classy Turkey. That's Mikey and Richard. Is their real names.
You guys, whenever I go over there, I just smile because you just do the goofiest things.
Well, yeah.
And it's fun.
That's the idea. I mean, of course we want it to look cool, but it has to be fun. It has to have some personality.
Yeah, I mean, I love sometimes when I get an upvote and something happens, or a downvote and something happens. It's just the different things, and you put in the the Konami shortcut a while ago. So I love all the stuff you guys are doing over there. So keep up the great work.
Fantastic, we will.
So Major, speaking of Quantum Break, I saw over on Twitter that you just finished the game. What did you think about it?
I loved it. I mean, the guys over at Remedy are fantastic storytellers. I had Sam Lake on my latest podcast, and he and I only went about 20 minutes. We could have gone 2 hours and 20 minutes. It was just so interesting. It's such a great game, and I don't want to give away any spoilers. I assume both of you have played it and or finished it. Is that accurate?
Played, not finished.
Okay. It's such a fascinating way of telling the story, and it's kind of this new evolution of video games. You play it, and then there's this, this junction that happens where you're playing in the reverse side, and then you're seeing a live action. And I was like, okay, the live action, maybe it's going to be okay. It's really high quality. I mean, they've got these amazing actors and actresses. The special effects are great. It clicks into the story so well. So I really enjoyed it. Of course, it's one of those things where you're just bummed it's over, but it was such a wonderful experience. That's
great. And here's hoping for Quantum Break 2, right?
Right. I certainly hope so. Not making any announcements. I have no idea. So I would love to have Quantum Break 2, as I'm sure a lot of people would.
Are you looking forward to E3 and Gamescom and PAX East?
I sure am. I mean, I've got, we were just talking about this before we started recording. I've got PAX East coming up in a couple weeks. I'll be doing my show out there. E3, I've been in planning meetings for that for months. Gamescom planning meetings for months. PAX Prime, PAX Australia. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. It is, it's really exciting. I'm really looking forward I look forward to E3 every year. But I'm really looking forward to it this year for a ton of different reasons.
Awesome to hear. So Major, outside of the Xbox One subreddit, are there any other subreddits that you venture out to? On your free time, of course.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones that I hit. And in fact, I'm going to pull them up right now. Let's see if I've got them up in front of me on my computer. There's look at the Xbox. I just looked at the Dark Souls one you did.
Dark Souls.
That's really nice. That
was all Mikey. He did that all himself.
It is, that's impressive. Yeah. I mean, I have no idea how hard it is to do these, so I want to go through. So there's a couple of ones that I hit. One of them, of course, is, Damn, That's Interesting. Cool Guides, is always interesting. I look at the Windows, 10 and the Windows Phone subreddit, the Xbox One subreddit, of course, Xbox 360 subreddit. There's a good one, actually, you guys should subscribe to, called Podcasts. Check that subreddit out. Another one that for some reason I'm mildly addicted to is Obscure Media.
Obscure Media?
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, Obscure Media is a weird subreddit that has, I don't know how to describe it, but it's everything it's just like these weird 60s and 70s and 80s, like TV clips of weird things. It's hard to describe, but it's Obscure Media. So there you go. So.
I am looking at it right now.
How would you describe it? I mean, I know you haven't seen anything, but you just looked at it. You're like, what's going on here?
Well, yeah, I would describe it as a subreddit full of obscure media, by the looks
exactly. Exactly. So I mean, I'm a bunch of different other places as well around there. It's great. I'm really excited about some of the stuff that's happening on Reddit right now. So I'm really thrilled to see what they're doing over there. But yeah, I'm over there at a bunch of different subreddits I subscribe to.
Awesome. So Major, before we let you go here, just got a few last questions that we want to ask you, and
sure.
One really off the wall question. But one of the questions some folks are very interested in is, what kind of gamer are you? Is there a particular type of game that you are more interested in playing, or are you really big into achievements or side quests and finding hidden items, that sort of thing?
Yeah. You know, it's funny. You could say I was into achievements because I was part of the team that helped develop that. But here's the one thing. I don't really like to open up a game and look at the achievements before, because some of the developers tend to have spoilers, unfortunately, in some of the achievements. So I'm very careful about that. The type of game that I like is, I love a good narrative. I love, that's why we just talked about Quantum Break, and the narrative is so strong in there. I really love a good narrative. I didn't think I was going to get into The Division, and then I'm just so into it I can't stop. So I love RPGs. One style of games that I'm really not into are tower defense games. For some reason, they're just not my jam.
I feel you.
So tower defense games, not so much. I love some of my best gaming experiences are games that I haven't really read much about or any of the reviews, and I just go in completely blind. I like to do the same thing with movies. Like when I went in to see the Star Wars movie, I read nothing about it. I avoided spoilers for 2 years. And so I went in as just wide-eyed and just so excited. So as far as games, I'll pretty much play anything as long as it's fun and challenging. We talked to Dark Souls is one of those. That's fun and frustrating. So it's a different type of game.
Can I spin you back for a second? You avoided Star Wars spoilers for 2 years.
And I don't know
how.
And to be honest with you, I don't know how I did that, because as somebody who's on the internet as much as I am, that's why you'll notice if you go back and look at my tweets, I don't like to talk about Star Wars that much, or I won't click on any links, or I don't basically I call it pulling the tail of the tiger, where if I say, hey, I haven't seen any Star Wars spoilers, and then I know some trolls are going to come fill up my timeline on Twitter with a bunch of spoilers. So I didn't say anything about it.
Yeah, that sounds like a good way to at least avoid most of the fallout, but I still don't believe that there's not some sort of voodoo involved here.
Yeah, true. So it was hard, but so that's now that we got away from games and onto Star Wars. Sorry about that, Clayton.
My bad.
No worries. It's all good. Anytime we wanted to discuss Star Wars, I'm all for that. So.
Oh, right on. So have you seen the latest Blu-ray? Do you have your Blu-ray yet?
I do not yet. I'm waiting. My sister-in-law we went in on it together. I'm actually grabbing the digital copy, and she's accepting the physical. So
got it. Good. Well, you'll enjoy it. So there you go.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait to give it another watch again on the big screen.
I don't think it's out in Finland yet, sadly. I have to check.
Oh, I thought it was, but anyway, I'll let you figure that out.
It might be just in the States. I don't know. But Major, so one off the wall question that we'd like to ask all of our guests going forward is it's really off the wall. So prepare yourself. What classic video game character could you knock out in one punch?
Could I knock out in one punch?
Yeah. Take your time.
Oh boy, that is a good question.
Rhys was thinking Hubert on his end. I had said Paperboy. So.
Oh boy, I would have taken that. That's
Feel free to go with the same one.
Yeah,
you know what?
Paperboy. Now that I own a house.
Yeah, exactly. Has he broken any windows yet?
Not yet, but just can't manage to get the newspaper into the mailbox ever.
By the way, headlines, you're the last person in America to be getting a newspaper delivery.
Old school.
Yeah. Who could I knock out? And it's funny. There's for some reason, and I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna say this. For some reason, Frogger's coming to mind, but I would never knock out a frog, so that's why I don't know. I don't know. It's just like the moment you said that, Frogger popped into my head, but I don't want to. I love frogs.
You are mean.
It's because when you're driving somewhere, he's always in your way apparently. So
I don't know what it is. I mean, I do. I think Paperboy, but I would like to backtrack a little bit. Maybe go with Paperboy. I just gotta remember that Paperboy. It was so good.
We'll just edit that out, right?
Yeah.
That all came directly from you. Well, Major, we really do appreciate your time. We know you're super busy getting prepped for E3 and PAX East and all this fun stuff, and we really do
Clayton,
appreciate
am I going to see you at PAX East?
That's the plan.
Oh, that is what I like to hear. Well, listen, I just want to say, keep up all the great work you guys do on the Xbox subreddit. I know a lot of folks at Xbox are over there all the time, and even though they may not be posting, they're seeing a lot of what the community is saying. And really, I also want to say congratulations on the podcast. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys do in the coming years. And if you ever need any help, I'm happy to help you guys. And of course, I would love to come back on if, of course, you'll have me.
Of course, and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and talk with us.
Oh, my pleasure. Like I said, I love all you guys over there, and keep up the great work.
So I think, being a subreddit podcast, we want to know a little bit about our moderators, and it just so happens, of course, Rhys, we have you on this week.
Yes.
So let's do a little segment that we like to call Mod Spotlight.
Oh God. I just want to explain to the other mods in advance. I am so sorry, and I plead the fifth.
They'll get their chance. Don't worry, they will get their chance. So let's start with some questions. You know,
Oh
these
God.
aren't prearranged.
Okay, I'm ready.
pre-thought
I'm
out
ready.
Off
Hit
the
me.
top of my head. So, what exactly do you do for the subreddit?
Okay, so as I mentioned, I delete all opinions that I do not agree with. I ban people I don't like, and I take huge fistfuls of money from our corporate sponsors. Okay, that was an obvious joke. Basically, I do moderation, so I remove posts, approve posts, answer mod mail, make stickies. We plan content. We do a lot of brainstorming for the themes. I run the Twitter account. We do a lot of contacting with developers and industry people, organizing AMAs and like this podcast, for example. I'm sort of the unofficial PR guy. I do most of the contacting with the industry people, and like, for example, Mikey J and Classy Turkey, hey boys, they handle most of the CSS work and stuff like that. And yeah, it's that's what I do. I moderate things.
How many mods are there
11.
for the subreddit? 11.
Wow.
Yes, and we have
From all
mods
parts
from
of the world?
Yeah, basically we run in shifts. We have people from every corner. We have a mod from Iran. We have a mod from New Zealand. We have mods in Canada. We have mods on the east and west coast of North America. We have 2 mods in Finland. Hey, Ryan. And we also have a mod in Norway.
Fantastic. I didn't know it was so much work. I did not know that. Like,
Yeah.
out of interest, like, how many people actually come to the subreddit each month?
How many people? We get between 1 and 2 million unique hits a month, and they generate between 8 and 10 million page views a month.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
that's insane. How many people is that?
I'm-
So in terms of Reddit, is that pretty high in terms of other subreddits, or?
I also moderate our gaming, and our gaming has 10 million subscribers.
Wow.
So actually, no. The stats for our gaming I can't tell you on this podcast, but they are huge. But I can also tell you that as far as I'm aware, we are the biggest community on the internet that's dedicated entirely to the Xbox One. I don't think there is any place larger.
I do not doubt that one bit. That's for sure.
Now, you do have a little thing which is popular on Reddit called an AMA, Ask Me Anything. And is that you guys reaching out of the developers, like to the developers to come on, or are they actively contacting you to actually come on an AMA?
It's a little bit of both. In the beginning, it was us putting in like all the legwork because, we didn't have any reputation. But, once the subreddit started to grow and we got a lot of, we got the whole concept off the ground, then occasionally a few devs would approach us. For example, Bethesda came to us for their for their AMA. See, most devs know how the internet works, and they have a bit of a mix of both fear and respect for Reddit, because Reddit can make you or it can utterly destroy you. So you have to be very careful who you reach out to. So yeah, understandably, a lot of them aren't willing to take the first step unless they really know Reddit. Like, for example, the guys at High Res, how you doing, fellas? They're like super Redditors. So for them, it was easy peasy. But for a few other devs who are very unfamiliar with Reddit, then we definitely had to make the first move and, explain to them even basic things like how to make a post and how to reply to a post and stuff like that. If you're not familiar with how Reddit is, because, we've been using Reddit for years, so for us it's second nature, but Reddit is actually quite old school, and it can be very confusing to people who aren't familiar with that.
Yeah. Like, did you just say it can make or destroy you?
Absolutely.
Could you not have told me that before I started doing a podcast on it? Or?
Well, yeah, see, Ross, you have to be really careful about what you say on Reddit because yeah.
Okay, right. I think we'll swiftly move on to the next question. Jessy, do you want to ask him the next question?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you something really, really controversial here. So, the themes that you guys were... I'm not going to ask you anything really super... What I'm really interested in is the themes. The themes that you guys put on are by far the best that I've seen on basically any subreddit page across all of Reddit. I mean, the amount of themes that you guys pump out is absolutely mind-boggling. I guess, sort of, how much time does that take you guys to put together?
Hundreds and hundreds of man-hours. We have a team of 3. There's me, there's Mikey J, and there's Classy Turkey. I mentioned them briefly before. Mm-hmm. And also Deffer, who is the one who always does the little hidden Konami code, as is tradition.
Nice.
But we all sort of share the jobs around, and we sort of focus on skills where they always are more appropriate. But like Mikey, for example, he always does the votes. I tend to do the text logo and like a lot of the back end work, like the colors and stuff like that. And for example, Classy, he almost always does the banners, and then you have the huge animations because that's actually his job. He is a motion graphics artist, and he taught me and Mikey a lot actually when he first joined. We love you. No. And yeah, my personal favorite out of all of them is the legendary Lego Batman theme. Did you guys see that?
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
It was fantastic.
Yes.
If you guys don't know, the release date of the Halo Master Chief Collection was shared by another game, which was Lego Batman 3. And everyone was really pumped up for this Master Chief theme that they assumed we were going to do. And Mikey and I made this incredible Lego Batman theme. We put so much effort into it, and we dumped it on the subreddit, and everyone was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And everyone, it became an in-joke to rival Pool Nation FX, the greatest game ever made. And people were even like a couple of days later sending us screenshots that they had a tab still open. And they were like, I'm never closing this tab. and since then, we've actually, Mikey and I have a bit of a running joke that we hide jokes to one another inside the CSS code. But in every single theme, we try at least somewhere to hide a reference to Lego Batman 3. So if you guys aren't finding them, you need to look harder.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. That's, I mean, I think everybody's just insanely impressed with those. And I was also very happy to see that you're now tweeting out some of those animations that are there. So they're sort of stamped in time. I mean, just some of those animations that you guys put together for the themes are some of the coolest parts that are on there. So glad to see that you're capturing those and shooting those out.
Mikey and Classy do almost all of the animations. They're really good at it. I do some animation work for one of the other subreddits I moderate, Nintendo. But if you're looking at Xbox and it's animated, it was probably made by Mikey or Classy Turkey.
So you said you're also a moderator over on the Nintendo subreddit. How much time does Reddit take up in your daily life?
Okay, well, I mentioned before I moderate gaming, and I also moderate Nintendo, and I also moderate consoles and also Xbox themes. So, I don't really look at much Reddit. No, that's a lie. Reddit takes up basically all of my day. I never really walk away from Reddit. It's constant because I carry it with me everywhere in my pocket, with my smartphone. So even if I'm not looking at the subreddit, I've got my Slack chat just beeping away from all the other mod chats that I'm in. I spend at least a couple of hours every day, like actively staring at the subreddit. At least.
That's great.
Do you look at any subreddits yourself?
Yeah,
or just
sure.
manage all of them. Just manage all of them, right?
I actually do some Redditing myself. I really like the PS4 subreddit. Don't tell anyone. I browse world news every day. I really love our movies. And I also spend a lot of time on Gone What? Games. Games. Our games.
Oh, it's too funny, man. That's why you have other Reddit profiles, right? So, thank goodness no one can see where I've been on Reddit. Or maybe you can.
No, we can't. The admins can.
There you go.
The admins can.
So, what games are you playing right now? I mean, that's this is an Xbox One party chat. So, what games are you playing?
I am currently doing my best to power through Rise of the Tomb Raider. It was on sale a couple of weeks ago for like $30, and I picked it up, and it's the best looking game I have ever seen. I'm really enjoying it. And I've also got Quantum Break at the ready. And when I'm not playing those, I'm playing Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 in split screen with my girlfriend.
That is awesome.
Fantastic.
I really wish I could get my wife to play games with me. Maybe if we had Miss Pac-Man or Super Mario somehow on Xbox One, I'd get her on there. But not anytime soon, unfortunately.
You can have mine if you want.
There we go.
There's a subreddit for this.
Yeah. Oh, is there really?
Oh, there's a subreddit for everything.
Well, look, Rhys, I'm sure everyone Reddit is thankful for everything that you and the rest of the moderation team do. And we'll be looking forward to speaking to the other moderators over the next few weeks.
All right, you guys, that was this week's episode. We're very excited to be bringing you guys this show, and we're excited to let you know that next week we'll have on with us some folks from the Xbox support team sitting in, answering some questions from us. Also, we've got a possible AMA date coming up in the future over on the subreddit with Frogware Games, the developers of Sherlock Holmes, Crime and Punishment. So, Ross, if people want to ask us questions or submit ideas for the show, what's the best place to get a hold of us?
Well, you can do it immediately in the comments section on Reddit, underneath where this is posted, or you can find me at RossM1984 on Twitter, and you can find the podcast at X1 Party Chat. Rhys, where can we find you?
You can find me on Reddit by pressing the message the moderators button, or you can find me personally on Twitter, if you like, at Delicious Cheese with a Z, not an E. Sorry, with a Z, not an S. Or you can contact me through the official Xbox One subreddit Twitter account, which is at Reddit Xbox One. That's one gigantic word.
And Jessy, I refuse to call you uncle because that would be weird.
A little
How
creepy.
about
Where can I
Sweetie?
find you?
Yeah. You can find me over on Twitter at Uncle Jessy for real. I'm also over and running all the time on the Xbox One subreddit under Uncle Jessy. On Uncle_Jessy, that is. So that wraps up the show. Make sure you guys go onto iTunes and review the show. Let us know what you think about the show. 5 stars, please. 5 stars, please. I don't know, Ross. What?
I'd be happy with 1 star, to be honest with you. Any stars are good.
Anybody downvoting this thread will be banned. Just like to get that out there.
But we're really excited to be bringing you guys this show each and every week, and looking forward to discussing some hot trending news over on the Xbox One subreddit. Until next time, this is the Xbox One Party Chat.
Don't make a girl a promise you can't keep.
Let's do this.
All right, everybody, welcome to the first episode of... I forgot our podcast name already.
I'm going to leave that in. See, after the music plays at the end, this bit's getting left in. Welcome to the podcast where we can't even get started.
We're done.
It's the weekend. I'm in last week on Xbox One mode. So